It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Welcome, friends and neighbors. I'm Tyler Kieft. Thank you for joining us as we kick off another exciting fall week in greater West Bloomfield, the last of September, and we'll reel in October by the end of the week. Our top story today continues to be the unbelievable start by your West Bloomfield Lakers this football season. They returned to the Swamp last Friday for a Birmingham-Bloomfield showdown with Groves. West Bloomfield returns home after taking care of business in Lake Orion, looking to remain the top team in green and white as Birmingham Groves comes to town. The Lakers begin with the football, but Groves holds them short on offense. Then that's the same favor that the Lakers and the Falcons would trade back and forth all throughout the first 12 minutes of this contest. It would take until the opening moments of quarter number 2 before Bryce Coburn breaks the stalemate for a 3-0 Lakers lead with a field goal. On the next possession, Lavelle Shannon hands it off, and while the uni reads 0-0, it's a double-digit gain on the ground for Birmingham Groves. But the joy won't last long. Next play, Jeremiah Whitley gets the carry, and the ball comes loose. Ezekiel Davis collects the change, and the Lake Show exhales in their own red zone. Here come the Lakers now on one of the longest drives of their season. Nearly 9 minutes come off the clock. But Groves makes another critical stop. That sends Bryce Coburn back out on cleanup duty. He sends it through the uprights, and it's a 6-0 lead for WB at the half. On to the third, still a very defensive game with both teams struggling to make a move. Then the Lakers get back into plus territory, but a fumble about 5 minutes into the quarter puts Birmingham back in possession. Now the Falcons will hold the pigskin for their own sustained drive. 4.5 minutes later, after advancing up the gridiron, junior Jeremiah Whitley hits pay dirt for the first TD of the ballgame. After an over 33.5-minute drought, Groves takes the lead 7-6. The Lakers take over and march up the field and into the fourth quarter, where Jamal Shakespeare finds the end zone on the ground. That's his fourth rushing touchdown in the last 2 weeks. Lakers try to even things out and make it a solid 1-touchdown lead by going for 2. Jackson Carver dashes to his left, sets off on a foot race to the pylon, and gets contact from J.T. Thomas as he dives. That knocks the ball loose and out of play. No good on the 2-point conversion. We hold firm with a 12-7 Laker lead. Groves tries to get back involved on the ground, but Will Espy makes a stop on third down. Then he's not done. Shannon under center. Far delayed handoff, and Whitley can't get anything. Everybody's back there. Once again, Will Espy. None shall pass. Lakers take over deep in Groves territory. A touchdown will close the deal on a 5-0 season start. So the Lake Show turns to the all-around superstar. He can do it on defense, and now he can do it on offense too. Will Espy takes the rock for a touchdown and then a 2-point conversion, and the L Boys expand their lead to 20-7. Last chance for Birmingham Groves, and the Lakers defense has had enough. They close them out. Nathan Mafucci clocks the ball, and the Lakers avenge last year's Week 2 loss by hitting mid-season undefeated. We go back into the OAA Red Division next week. Big Blue is on the clock as the Lakers set sail for Oxford. You can follow the team all season long for updates, new episodes of This Week in Laker Football, and all that you need to know about where you can watch the Lakers under the Friday night lights each and every week by visiting our website, civiccentertv.com/Lakersports. Joining me now to dive even deeper into the Lakers' 5-0 start is Matt Catoni, our color commentator for our live Laker football coverage right here on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Matt, quite the emphatic victory for WB last week with a similar timeline on the scoreboard as to week number 4 when they went to Lake Orion.
Yeah, very similar games in that they were trailing and they had to, that kind of gut check moment where they were able to come back. But what really stood out about this game was, it was kind of a game of keep away. And the Lakers in that fourth quarter were able to reestablish control after Birmingham Groves had the ball the entire second half.
Yeah, once again, the defense had reigned supreme in this game for both of these teams much throughout the first half. It was a battle of 3 and outs. It was a battle of turnovers. It was a battle of big stops, especially for West Bloomfield when it came to that front seven. Again, absolute domination against the Birmingham Groves Falcons.
Yeah, and really what stood out were 2 plays in the first half. That forced fumble after the long run, the second play of the drive, you force a fumble, and then Jamal Shakespeare tackle on that fourth down where it was about inches away from being a first down, but Shakespeare stood tall and just made sure that they did not pick up that first down.
Yeah, quiet game defensively for Jamal Shakespeare versus the recent weeks where he's been kind of a focal point at the second and third level for West Bloomfield. Very different case for someone who's been quietly effective through the first 4 weeks and had the most prolific game, especially in that fourth quarter. Will Espy, the senior safety and nickelback for West Bloomfield, stepped up big in that game and was one of the main reasons why West Bloomfield was able to finish the job on Friday night against the Falcons.
Yeah, one thing that you hear is one of the biggest strengths for a football player is short-term memory, and Will Espy demonstrated that this weekend. He fumbles the ball, kind of gives Birmingham Groves the opportunity to get back in the game. But just as quick as that happened, he put his foot back in the ground and kind of buried Birmingham Groves.
Yeah, he had a big stop in the fourth quarter. A third down stop, had another fourth down stop. Both of those he was at least in on. One of those he was very much the key tackler that changed the game for West Bloomfield, set them up in an incredible field position, already up 12-7, where he then scored the final touchdown and 2-point conversion of the ball game to make it a ultimately 20-7 victory for the West Bloomfield Lakers. Offensively, couple of stars stand out. Jackson Carver continuing to be excellent for West Bloomfield at quarterback. 11 for 17 passing, 178 yards in this game in the air. No touchdowns for him this week, but he did about everything he could right, but besides throw for a passing touchdown. And then a lot of that goes credit to who's quietly become the stud receiver for this team this season in Willie Edwards.
Yeah, Willie Edwards had a phenomenal game, and you saw that Jackson Carver was almost making a point to get him the football in the first half. But really what stands out about Carver, it's not just his poise in the pocket, but just how quick he is to deliver the football, and that's something that is invaluable, a quick delivery.
Especially for a junior in his first season full-time starter for this team, coming off an injury year. You mentioned the short-term memory with Will Espy. His short-term memory, Jackson Carver, in this case, just as superb as is Will Espy's. He's able to make a bad play a couple plays back, and then a couple plays later, same situation, make something incredible happen. The way he was able to escape pressure multiple times from the Falcons' defensive front, turn that into a big play, make something happen at the very least. Very impressive on Friday night. And then Willie Edwards has statistically been the best receiver for West Bloomfield this season by a country mile. 3 out of 5 games, he's had at least 50 yards receiving, including another one of those last week against Birmingham Groves, where he had a huge first half and overall brought in 5 receptions on 8 targets for 85 yards, averaging 17 yards per reception. That's the one thing about these Lakers this season offensively, Matt. It's not only have they been able to get everybody involved, but it seems like when they do get their skill players the football, more times than not, those skill players are making big breaks offensively.
Yeah, and really what's been most impressive is this is the first time they've really kind of had to open up the passing game or lean down the passing game. For the better part of this season, they've been relying on the playmakers on the ground and haven't really had to show them that much. It was good to see this game that they have the capacity to really attack downfield and attack over the middle.
And as we get into the thick of this season, we're not the midseason. It's 5-0 for West Bloomfield. They only had 5 wins all of last season, and really that second half of the season and those big games early on. Rochester Adams, Birmingham Groves, games like Oxford also that could have gone either way and ended up being very lopsided at certain points that turned the game toward the Lakers' opponents, led to that 5-6 overall record, which includes a playoff loss. So they were 5-5 coming into that final playoff game, 5-4 in the regular season. West Bloomfield already on pace to, with one more win, surpass their overall regular season performance from a year ago and be in position to win the OAA Red in as soon as a couple of weeks when Clarkston comes to town. Matt, a lot of that comes down to players stepping up. That next man up mentality, it's one of the most prolific cliches in the game of football. Nobody examples of that better in 2025 than Tristan Hunter for West Bloomfield, who has been incredible on that defensive line as a complement and as an addition to guys like Tank Pittman and Jeremiah Benson. 4 sacks on the season, 26.5 tackles, 12.5 of those solo, and almost 10 quarterback pressures in just these 5 weeks.
Yeah, having a guy like Tristan Hunter, Gray, and Joel Davis being able to rotate in on that defensive front along with Tank Pittman and Jeremiah Benson, it really gives this Lakers front seven a lot of versatility and just tenacity at the line of scrimmage that allows them to take over games.
Yeah, also can be noted a guy like Ezekiel Davis, who it seems every time the ball pops out, maybe it's just a circumstance of where the ball is popping out on the field on any given play, but it seems whenever there's a offensive fumble for the Lakers' opponents, Ezekiel Davis is right there to scoop it up too. Right place, right time, right mentality. He gets after the football. Another quiet but very important, effective performer for the Lakers defensively. Matt, they're 5-0. They're looking like one of the best teams in the state right now. It seems this defense is virtually unstoppable, but they've got a really tough schedule going through the rest of this season. These next 2 weeks especially, going to Oxford this week, Friday, before they see Clarkston come to town on October 10th. The Lakers are not in a position to take their foot off the gas as they head into 2 really tough games against Northern Oakland County opponents in their OAA Red division.
Yeah, really, the OAA Red is in a class of its own. And again, Oxford, they've had their number for pretty much ever since 2020. Oxford's only been able to beat the Lakers once. So you'd like the Lakers to continue that dominance and continue to take care of business against Oxford. But really, you can't look ahead to that Clarkston game, even though that's really, in a way, almost the OAA Red title game. You can't look past Oxford this week.
Oxford, a 38-14 victory over West Bloomfield a year ago, a legacy game for Luke Johnson of the Wildcats, one of their all-time great running backs who, one of those long line of players who stepped up in the legendary number 42 for Big Blue. And when they go out there, look, Oxford's had a struggle of a season in the first few weeks, but now they're on the winning side of their record. They're 3-2 overall, and a couple things go differently in a couple of games. They could be in the driver's seat position. Even their recent game against Clarkston, a bona fide top 10 team in the state by every pundit's standard. It was a 17-38 game. And yeah, that's a 3-score difference. But against that kind of a team with the expectations on your back for this year, that's a big performance for Oxford in week number 3. They followed that up with a couple of very different games, a struggle against Rochester Adams and a tough, gritty win by 1 touchdown last week at Lake Orion in that rivalry game, 41-34. Oxford's always that game, Matt, it seems on the schedule, where if you're not fully prepared, if you don't go in there with your foot pedal to the metal against the Wildcats, they will upset your team.
Yeah, and really, this is just a huge game for Oxford. You mentioned they're 0-2. They lost to Clarkson. They lost to Rochester Adams. But a win against the Lakers this week really shakes things up in the OAA Red and kind of gives them the opportunity to put themselves in the OAA Red title picture again if, they're able to get lucky and some teams lose some more games.
And that all sets you up well with the OAA Reds' strength of schedule, not only the Lakers individually, but all their opponents collectively. If you end up running the table on the rest of the season, Matt, maybe even if you unfortunately pick up a loss or 2, you're guaranteeing yourself at least one of those top 3 seeds in Division I come playoff time. And with a lot of bona fide juggernauts in Division I, like Cass Tech, like Catholic Central, who's always there, a team like Belleville that's been in and out of the mix over the years, a very different team in 2025, but not a team you want to see. And then even some of your own divisional opponents like Clarkston and Rochester Adams, who seem to always find a different gear come late October and early November. This is the time of the year where you start to have to not necessarily focus on playoff positioning, but it becomes one of those factors looming behind you, the monster in the closet as you walk into your bedroom.
Yeah, granted, the weather's a little nice right now, but they always say football season doesn't really start until the weather starts to cool off in October and we get to the fall. And that's where we're kind of at with the Lakers and the rest of the OAA Red. It's kind of gut check time to see where they stand amongst the state. And if the Lakers are able to, continue this momentum that they've had, and in Oxford's case, if they're able to, build something from here on out and get themselves into the playoffs.
Lakers are 5-0 on the season, a rarity for them. They had an undefeated season throughout the regular season way back in 2015. Not even when they won the state championship were they as prolific on the record side of things as they are right now, but big challenges ahead. Matt, as we look forward to this week against the Oxford Wildcats, what are you looking for in terms of those next steps forward for the Lakers, who seem to be taking at least a step forward every single week so far?
I want to see them improve in the red zone. Last week against Birmingham Groves, that kind of allowed Birmingham Groves to stay around in that game. Had they pulled off maybe one touchdown in the red zone, it would have been a 2-possession lead, 10-0 at halftime, and really wouldn't have given Birmingham Groves the opportunity to make that a close game.
Well, Matt, we got an exciting matchup coming for the community on Friday night. The West Bloomfield Lakers are visiting the Oxford Wildcats on the road. All eyes on Big Blue this Friday night. We'll have even more information on where you can watch the game and updates on the team all throughout the season on our Lakers sports page on civiccentertv.com. Matt, anything else for us before we let you go today?
Really just the West Bloomfield has to maintain their control of the trenches, and I think that they can continue to be arguably a top 5 team in the state.
Well, we appreciate you joining us again today, and we'll see you back very soon on our live broadcasts of West Bloomfield Laker football. Matt, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Matt Catoni, our color commentator with West Bloomfield Laker football. If you want to catch up on the season, find all the information you need to know about where the Lakers are going in the next few weeks as they wrap up the second half of the regular season, and where you can watch the games each and every week. Follow the team all season long on civiccentertv.com/Lakersports. Close to home in Greater West Bloomfield, our local Jewish community is celebrating the high holidays in 2025. And as we get ready to celebrate even more holidays as we wrap up already, I know, it's crazy, as we begin to wrap up 2025, leaders from across all faiths in our community are consistently coming together to keep Greater West Bloomfield not only the diverse community that it is, but a close-knit, diverse community of people of all different ethnicities and faiths. Reporter Jake Schaff has the story.
Every month, members of the Greater West Bloomfield Faith and Community Alliance get together to form a sense of unity and connection throughout the entire community of West Bloomfield, building these bonds and helping to make the 4 communities better and better every single day, even for those of different faiths who come together for a greater purpose.
This organization represents the heart and soul of Greater West Bloomfield. The members of clergy with members in the community come together with a common interest. How can we connect? How can we collectively add greater value, greater insight, and understanding across the entire community?
This was my first experience with being part of a group like this in my professional capacity. I do attend church in my personal life, so I'm familiar with the faith-based organizations and the way they operate and the thought processes. But this is the first time that I've had the opportunity to participate in something like this through a work setting, and it was really nice to see a wide array of different personalities and backgrounds, and people from different walks of life come together and have the same goals in mind.
What is it like to communicate with these big community heads in this way?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's so much fun to get to spend time with all of these wonderful, amazing people who are spending their lives leading communities of care and mission and taking care of other folks. It's been a wonderful privilege. It's not just a matter of doing what Methodists do, but when we work together, we can accomplish so much more, have a bigger impact, and come to a greater understanding of who one another is, so that as human beings that are trying to just be the best that we can be in this community, we can do that better when we're working together and coming to common understandings of who we are.
It's great because, to be able to discuss various things that are the same, really. I mean, we're all people, and how we approach, God. 3 of the religions come from the same source. So, it's nice to meet the other leaders and their people and find out more about them and how we relate. We're so much more alike than different. And if we look at the likeness or the sameness instead of how we're different, then we can do a lot more for the community and beyond.
I think because the example that we show, it shows people that they can come together too, and it's okay if you're different and come together. You're not always going to agree, but you can find some places of agreement and make an impact on not just your community, but the wider world.
It's another fantastic way to help promote that great sense of community bonding everywhere you look. And a great way to peek inside and see more of the ins and outs on how these communities are run, even in some ways you wouldn't expect. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
Community is the buzzword. Unity is the most important part of that term, and it takes an effort from people across all different corners of our faith communities, our ethnic communities, and even those more individual and close to home, like our schools, our government, and even your neighborhood. Thank you for that report, Jake. Local business owners are always looking for the next great innovation to catapult their companies to the next level. And in 2025, if you don't know your brand, your customers probably won't love your brand. I spoke to a local marketing expert, Lydia Michael, as she prepares to help local businesses learn how to make customers fall in love with their product. Lydia, thanks for coming on the show.
Hi, hello, how are you?
Doing well, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, happy to have you on as you are about to embark on this endeavor with business owners in the local area. You're going to be putting on a seminar, Brand Love in Action, How Emotion Wins Hearts and Builds Loyalty. Give us a little bit of an overview of what you'll be presenting to local business owners or others in business looking to improve their marketing skills in particular.
Yes, so it's really more so meant to be an interactive, engaging session for business owners here locally to help them understand how to engage their customer base, not just from a rational and functional basis, but especially from an emotional perspective, right? And this is what brand love is all about. It's about creating this deep emotional bond where your customers and the people you connect with truly feel connected to your organization and to your brand, not just because of what you're selling and the transactions, but more so because of what it makes them feel and what it represents in their lives.
So it's a stronger emotion sort of in those ties than brand loyalty. It's taking that to the next level. So Lydia, as these business owners or these others in business that are looking to improve their skills and make that brand love something that their customers do engage in, why is brand love so much stronger than the simplicity of brand loyalty?
So brand love actually leads to brand loyalty and advocacy. So it's sort of this journey that you're embarking on as an organization where you're leading your customers to be loyal and to be advocates or brand ambassadors of your company. So, today we're in a very crowded marketplace. Products and services can be copied, but it's really, really difficult to copy emotional connections, right? And so when customers can genuinely love a brand, they become advocates, they forgive mistakes, and they stay loyal even when a competitor comes and knocks on their door. And that's the kind of relationship that every organization and brand should strive for.
And so as you have this discussion, you kind of go over two different points that you're going to be exploring that drive that brand love. There are two drivers you describe, emotional and rational drivers. What are the differences between the two, and how do they connect into creating that brand love?
So the emotional and the rational is sort of like the yin and the yang, right? It's sort of the warm and the cold. It's the emotional and the rational in marketing. And the rational side, which again is the functional side, features things like the price, the quality, the convenience, the differentiation. All of those things are the foundation, and that's what helps earn a customer's head, if you will. Now, the emotional drivers are things like intimacy, belonging, trust. Those are the things that capture the heart. And having both is really crucial because a brand is not going to succeed with just focusing on one or the other. When you focus on just the rational and the functional side, you might be respected, but you're rarely liked or loved. But when you focus on the emotional side, you risk losing credibility. So balancing both is really important to make sure that you're building a foundation of desire and affection that then translates to that long-term loyalty.
Lydia Michael is with us from Blended Collective on the Splash Live, talking about brand love, hoping to drive customers into truly having a love for products and for these companies in our local area that are providing either items, services, or both from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. And Lydia, as we talk about this term of brand love, I'd imagine it's even more important for companies that are working specifically in that small business sector on the local level, most of their customers ideally being those in their local area, and then as they conquer that market space, they then move on to others. So how important is that brand love on the local level, especially for our small businesses?
So important. So I actually talk about this quite a bit in the book, and I'm going to include some of those elements in the workshop, but this is my book, Brand Love, here, that I published a couple of years ago, and that's sort of as the basis of where this workshop comes from and a lot of the work that we do at Blended Collective. And so when we take a look at the local environment, your small business, local small business here in West Bloomfield or in the area, they very much focus on the loyalty and the retention and sort of that repeat customer, right? That is connected with them, again, beyond that transaction, beyond just what they need in the moment, but really creating that connection locally here on a practical level. So my goal is to leave the businesses with small tangible steps that they can incorporate and understand, how can I build trust? How can I include more of the connection elements in my messaging, and how can I strengthen consistency across the touch points? So this is really something that's not just important for global organizations, but on a local level, I believe it's even more so important because it's all about our community, right? That's who supports us day in and day out.
And so your book, Brand Love, goes through all these different concepts. It goes through the basics. It's a lot of that information that people can come into this particular seminar with to learn more and to get more of the finer details from you and from these discussions. But as you mentioned earlier on, it's going to be more of an interactive discussion than it is a lecture on this concept of brand love. For you personally and for these business owners, why is that dialogue an important element of teaching this concept to our local business owners?
A big part of it is the work itself that I talk about, the emotional connection. It's not just about the transaction, it's about feeling something. And so when I'm hosting this workshop, I want to make sure that I embody the spirit of what this topic and this concept teaches. And so for that reason, it's important that we're not just talking about those things and it's not just a lecture per se, but it's more so an interactive session where businesses can come in and actually work on some of those elements that I'm teaching live in the workshop and really walk away with not just new action items and a little bit of homework, but also understand, how can I implement or incorporate some of those principles in my day-to-day business? What does that look like in my industry and in my business?
So from my notes from our producer, Jake, who booked you on the show for today, you had mentioned that to him that Blended Collective is currently undergoing its own rebranding. So as you're going through that process and you're teaching some of this branding material to other small business owners here in our local area, how are you incorporating some of these concepts into your own rebrand?
Definitely, yeah. We have to lead by example. So rebranding Blended Collective has been a very intentional process. We just celebrated our 8-year anniversary for the company. And so in Brand Love, I write about the importance of blending the rational with emotional, like I said earlier. And that's exactly what we're doing in our rebrand. So on the rational side, we're clarifying our services, tightening up our positioning, and making sure that our messaging is very simple and accessible. And on the emotional side, we're leaning into the feeling of connection, culture, creativity, and really making sure that across all customer touch points, people feel something. They're not just, booking us or hiring us to work with them, but they truly feel something beyond just what we do and really beyond just the look or the new logo. I think the rebrand is really for us about evolving and showing up in a way where people can feel what we're about. And this is exactly what I talk about in the book too. So again, just sort of taking these theoretical principles and bringing them to life through our company.
Brand Love in Action, How Emotions Win Hearts and Build Loyalty with Lydia Michael, an upcoming discussion on September 30th. Lydia, if people want to participate, where is it going to be happening? How can they get involved?
So it's taking place at the West Bloomfield Library. You can register via the oaklandthrive.org website. And for more information about us, you're welcome to visit blendedcollective.com and can find a copy of Brand Love on Amazon or anywhere books are available.
Registration, once again, oaklandthrive.org. Otherwise, you can follow Lydia and her team at Blended Collective on blendedcollective.com. Lydia, before we let you go, anything else that people should be thinking about in terms of Brand Love or this discussion coming up on September 30th as they await the big day?
Yeah, really just start thinking about how can you make sure that your brand and your organization is connecting with people at the core, that you're understanding who your customer is, why they're supporting you, and how you can continue to build that journey with them that leads to loyalty.
Well, Lydia, we appreciate you coming on, and certainly our small businesses appreciate this insight as they continue to try to be competitive on the local level and in the ever-competitive world online as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Time's running out until that special presentation. If you want to find more information on that, oaklandthrive.org is where you register for the event, and you can find even more helpful advice and consultation from Lydia Michael, an expert local to our community right here in Greater West Bloomfield and an Oakland County 40 Under 40 alum herself, on her website, blendedcollective.com, as well as on Instagram and on LinkedIn at Blended Collective. On October 9th, Greater West Bloomfield will be home to a fundraiser helping to put an end to breast cancer. That will feature stars such as Local 4's Kim Adams, as well as fashion advice from a renowned local stylist. Hey, look, some say I could use a little bit of help on that front, but you definitely would enjoy it yourself. Here to tell us how you can get involved, get a seat at this fun event, and support, of course, a great cause is Janice Lynch, the co-chair of Pretty in Pink. Janice, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, always happy to have someone join us who is putting in the work on the front lines to help support a very worthy cause, helping to support breast cancer research, breast cancer prevention, and so much more. Your organization, Pretty in Pink, this luncheon is the 18th annual version of this. What does that speak to in terms of not only Greater West Bloomfield, but the wider community here in Metro Detroit, their efforts going forth to try to put an end to this silent killer that creeps up on so many people, particularly women, in our local area?
Indeed. As we approach October, the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we are thrilled to be celebrating our 18th fundraiser, and it's called Pretty in Pink, and it is sponsored by our organization called Sisters Hope. Sisters Hope was developed in 23 years ago. And so from there, Sisters Hope develops breast cancer retreats. And we are currently in multiple states, and we have 2 retreats that occur in Michigan. And so the funding from this wonderful, exciting fashion show, as well as Kim Adams coming, our Pretty in Pink event on October 9th will be so exciting for everybody. We have doors open at 10 a.m. and it goes till 3:30. As you can tell, we have boutique shopping, raffles, and cash bar. Lunch is served at noon, and it goes until 3:30. We're so excited about several of our items. We have a chance that people can win diamond earrings, or also our live auction. We have Amon St. Brown's signed jersey. So it will be an exciting, delicious, wonderful, supportive event for breast cancer survivors.
And so, of course, the tasty lunch, the big prizes, the auctions, that gets people in the door. But altogether, everything that brings people into the doors for an event like this or to another fundraiser for your organization, that's really just a mission to get them in a position to help your organization with its day-to-day mission. That takes money, that takes effort, that takes expertise, and that takes community support. So when that all does come together, what does Pretty in Pink and your organization, Sisters Hope, do to help support people that are affected by breast cancer and the breast cancer awareness community?
Well, we work with breast cancer survivors to enrich their lives beyond breast cancer. And once the women are 6 to 24 months beyond their treatments, they have a chance to be a part of our retreats. And the retreats allow women to explore their journey as it was in breast cancer, and then come up with new goals, and by identifying their priorities, their dreams, their desires, their love, and they can then create goals towards a new beginning beyond identifying themselves as breast cancer patients to a new beginning and a new empowerment and explore their beautiful side and their goals.
Janice Lynch is with, please. Janice Lynch is with us from the Pretty in Pink fundraiser supporting Sisters Hope, an organization aimed at enriching the lives of people affected by breast cancer. It's a nonprofit with operations in 4 different states, Michigan, as well as Colorado, Missouri, and in North Carolina. Their Pretty in Pink fundraiser is coming up. It's going to be in West Bloomfield Township at Knollwood Country Club. That event happening on Thursday, October 9th. 10 a.m. is when it all opens up. The boutique shopping, the raffle, the cash bar, all the amenities that come along with it. 12 noon is lunch, and all day long supporting people in need in our breast cancer community in Greater West Bloomfield and beyond. Janice, as the organizer of this event, the 18th annual for this, seeing how this event garners that sort of support, how that support ultimately does go back to Sisters Hope and their efforts helping people affected by breast cancer. You've seen these personal stories come to life and have a big impact on breast cancer survivors and breast cancer active patients hoping to someday be survivors. So when people donate to an event like this, or they attend an event like this, or both, just how far of a reach does that impact have on real people in our community and, as I mentioned earlier on, 3 other states besides Michigan?
Absolutely. It impacts them tremendously. As a breast cancer survivor myself, I attended the Pretty in Pink luncheon first, and then decided I needed to be involved and help others with breast cancer. And so then I attended the retreat, and it was life-changing. It allowed me to have new purpose, to make my message and help other women go through this, because I eventually became a facilitator of the retreats. So this is such an exciting, worthwhile, wonderful event to support There's Hope and enriching these women after their breast cancer journey. And I implore you to please visit our website at www.sistershope.org and look for purchasing tickets or even supporting someone that you know as a legacy donation in light of that person who is a survivor in your family.
Tickets to this event are $80 with a discounted rate of $750 for a table of 10 people. Reserved seating only through October 1st, but if you don't get your tickets before October 1st, there's still open seating as available beyond that. For more information, a couple different places that you can go. You can either go to sistershope.org, that's sistershope.org, or call Mary Wood from their team, 248-752-7867, phone number 248-752-7867. Janice, you mentioned you're a breast cancer survivor. You've gone on one of these retreats through Sisters Hope that helps to be funded by events and fundraisers like Pretty in Pink. There's a certain element of hope that comes from support during a breast cancer bout, during that battle, and there's something that goes into surviving the event and then surviving how it affects you. How does something like this help to generate that hope that catapults you into that next chapter after breast cancer in your life?
At the retreat, it's called Sisters Hope. There is a bond between the women that are there, and those are lifelong connections. It's beautiful. And beyond that, the change and the focus is infectious to your family, to your friends, and you are on a new path to live and get beyond that cancer diagnosis and be so grateful and thankful of every day and everything around you. At the retreat, the women are treated with pampering. There are and there are beautiful rooms with bathrooms, and it is a lovely, lovely, wonderful event.
And that experience brings people together not only for a good cause, but to provide an even more important experience for those who have survived breast cancer, that spiritual awakening, that hope that is generated from that group environment for years to come, and what's hopefully a very long life after a very tough battle. Janice, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate it. You can get your tickets and learn more about their Pretty in Pink fundraiser and how you can support Sisters Hope on their website, sistershope.org, sistershope.org. For more event information and to purchase your tickets, call Mary Wood from their team, 248-752-7867. The phone number again, Mary Wood is who you're looking for, 248-752-7867. Small businesses are making it their mission to move to places like Greater West Bloomfield. Civic Center TV's Jake Schaff joined the community as they welcomed a brand new member to our vibrant local business community.
A holistic wellness center just opened its doors to the community as Be Balance had their official grand opening right here in West Bloomfield, complete with a ribbon cutting and ceremony, providing Greater West Bloomfield residents countless information tidbits on how they can lose weight safely and how they can change their lives. And it's all put together by a strong family foundation that has worked hard to get where they are.
It has been so exciting. I could not be happier for Rosalind and Stephanie. They are like family, and I'm happy to be a part of this. They are so deserving. They worked hard to get to this point, and the best is yet to come for them.
What do you think are some of the best things with Be Balanced that are here to offer to the people of Greater West Bloomfield?
I think people should really know that there's help for you when it comes to things that you're experiencing in your body. It's not always just exercise or eating right. It's a combination of a lot of things. And so they're here to help find out what problems you may have, what you're trying to find solutions to, and they can do that with the products that they offer that you can't get at the local pharmacies, and their program is amazing. I encourage people to find out more about it.
Oh my God, it's amazing. So I know them, I know the sisters. They are incredible people, and working together will be amazing because I'm going to bring my client to them, and then client needs me too. So it's a perfect partnership.
Oh, we are energized. We are energized because Be Balanced Centers, this is the first one in Michigan, and we chose West Bloomfield, one of the best cities in the state. Just to have a business in the city where we live is just magnifying. It's all of our neighbors, it's all of our friends, it's the people that we see every day that are here to support us.
How great is it to have seen that passion grow into something like this and to be truly benefiting the people of Greater West Bloomfield?
Well, it was a passion of mine because I actually did the program and I saw the miraculous results. I knew that it was a franchise out of Pennsylvania and that there weren't any here. So we just wanted to be the first to be here with it and to let people experience it.
It feels amazing. I have lost personally 39 pounds on the program, and I'm so excited to be able to share it with other women and men.
What is it like to have such a strong family foundation supporting a business like this?
So working with family is awesome. We know each other, we understand each other, we know how to support each other. So it's just, I'm thankful to have my husband, Rosalind's husband, Steve, my husband, Kendo, together to do this with us.
What attributes do you think have really contributed the most to this building's success?
They've always wanted to do something on their own. They always wanted to take the front role of it, and they did it. They've had it in them. Years ago, we started another business, and they're still part of that business. But they had the drive and the motivation to do something on their own, and they finally did it, and I'm just so happy for them.
We want to enrich our community, so I'm hoping today they'll take away good food, good information, fellowship, and just enjoy with us, celebrate with us what's going on. But more so, I want to make sure that we pass information to people and let them know we are offering holistic medicine in a way to change your life forever.
It's fantastic to see all of that hard work pay off and to be put towards something truly amazing for the community. It's another way for Greater West Bloomfield residents to get healthy, both for their body and for their soul. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
For more information on small businesses in Greater West Bloomfield and how your small business can get involved in the local community, visit the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce on their website, westbloomfieldchamber.com, or of course stay tuned right here on the Splash Live for more information on these special gatherings and new special relationships that are being fostered by businesses moving into Greater West Bloomfield and people like you achieving your dreams with your special ideas here in this special community. We'll take a break on the Splash Live on the other side, making fall memories with your family, including your four-legged friends, your pets. Stay tuned. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from Sylvan Lake, Civic Center TV, television that's close to home. Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen.
When you have a gambling problem, you have a money problem. Don't let your gambling cause you financial hardship. If you or someone you love is struggling with gambling, we can help. Get free confidential counseling and win your life back. Learn more at michigan.gov/problemgambling.
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Keefe. Thank you so much for joining us, and as always, for following along with all of our programming, including special coverage of Laker football, big events all throughout the year, including as we get into the holidays, and of course, for news, updates, and interesting stories each and every day on our social media. Facebook at Civic Center TV 15, and Instagram and X as well at Civic Center TV, as well as on YouTube. You know it, I know it. Taking pictures with your pets is never easy. And when you want to get that perfect picture with your dog in this beautiful Michigan fall with that as the background, it can be downright rough. Close to home, Premier Pet Supply is hosting an early Halloween party for pets and people alike that will feature an expert to help you get those perfect pet pics. Joining me with more information on the program is Christine O'Brien from Rough Life Photography. Christine, thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, glad to have you on. You'll be taking part in the Premier Pet Supply West Bloomfield location's Festive Halloween party on Sunday, October 19th. That's from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. You're no stranger to Greater West Bloomfield, and especially to our Premier Pet Supply location off on Orchard Lake Road in the Orchard Mall. It's a special experience, and it takes a special talent, too, to get those perfect pictures with families and their pets. Take us through a little bit of your process and how you turn that experience into the magic it becomes.
Well, so you come in for a photo, and sometimes there is a little bit of a line, but we try to, relax the dogs a little bit and, let them calm down a little bit. And then I have a backdrop, and everyone can sit, or just the pet can sit in the photo, and we take the picture. We leave them on the leash the whole time, and we edit the leashes out. But it's something that they can, we print it out and they can take it home with them. But we try to have enough staff there to make sure that, dogs aren't, getting in each other's faces and all that kind of stuff. But there's 14 Premier Pet Supply locations, and we're doing Halloween photos at all of them. But you said West Bloomfield, we are doing them on the 19th, October 19th at 2:30. We also will be there later for Hanukkah and Santa photos later in the season. So, yeah.
And so when people think about photography, they probably would conventionally believe that it's easier to set everything up, have a backdrop, get everybody in the perfect place, and then snap that picture. And when pets are involved, I would think it's the complete opposite. Getting those candid photos out in the field, out in real life with people and their pets is probably a lot easier. So what are some of your secrets to getting those pets, especially dogs, that are around other pets at an event like this, to be in that perfect spot, pose with their family, and get that amazing fall picture with everybody?
That's a really good question. It's making noises. So they can be head tilting back and forth. There's so much going on. But the minute you make an odd noise, like a hee or a squeak, or some type of, sometimes I use duck calls, it's making that noise and they turn their head, and you have to click that second that they're looking. So it's that simple.
So when you come to Premier Pet Supply, you're providing that as a service within this Halloween party. It is at a reduced cost. Give us a little bit of information on what people need to know before they go out there with their pets if they're looking to get those pictures on the afternoon of Sunday, October 19th.
Okay, so when you come, it's a $10 photo, and just every Premier Pet Supply that we do this at, that money, every dollar is donated to different rescues. So every location, West Bloomfield, we're donating to Almost Home Animal Rescue. So you come in, you pay the $10, you get your picture, you take your print. But yeah, you just maybe not feed them as many snacks so they're more treat motivated when they do get their picture. But other than that, come in and have a good time. There's going to be costume contests and treats and snacks and all kinds of things for everybody. So it should be a good time.
As you involve yourself with this, using your expertise, taking these pictures for families that want to get those perfect pet pictures for the fall season here in Greater West Bloomfield, as you mentioned, these proceeds are going to local animal rescues, animal shelters like Almost Home. For you, how close of a relationship do you have? How close do you hold that impact of supporting local rescues as you're around pets every single day doing this professionally?
Yeah, it's hugely important to me. A huge part of the work I do is rescue photography. So not just doing the stuff in the pet stores with Premier Pet Supply, but also, yes, Premier Pet Supply gives me the space, and we pick different groups that are amazing throughout the Metro Detroit area. And that affords me this opportunity to give back, but also I interacting with people, finding out rescues they work with, and then I go and take photos of their fosters, or I go to the shelters and take pictures of their shelter dogs to help them get adopted better. So the connection with animals is a huge thing for me, but also helping them find homes is a big deal. Saving lives in Metro Detroit is even more of an issue now than ever with dogs getting euthanized in shelters. So it's an incredible opportunity for me to be able to do this.
What better place to do it than at our local Premier Pet Supply location,
Exactly.
a family-owned business here in Greater West Bloomfield with locations all throughout southeastern Michigan that partners with these shelters too to help these pets find their forever homes, with partnerships such as Christine O'Brien from Rough Life Photography joining us on the Splash Live. You can join Christine and her team with Rough Life Photography at Premier Pet Supply on Orchard Lake Road in the Orchard Mall. It's at the corner of Orchard Lake and Maple Road in West Bloomfield. Their Halloween party is October 19th, a Sunday afternoon from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. Now, Christine, I know you're going to have all these special backgrounds. People are going to come in with their pets all dressed up and ready to be in that fall theme. Maybe it's a Halloween costume. Maybe they're going to try to disguise their dog as a pumpkin, something in between. All these years you've been doing this, what's the best costume you've seen someone bring their pets in for one of these photography sessions?
So last year, Whiskey the Bijla, she has her own Instagram account, but her human made her a porcupine costume and handmade all the needles and painted them. It was this incredible looking. It's hard to top that costume. I don't know. There's a lot. There's a Moose, he's a therapy dog. He and his human dressed as Toto and Dorothy for the Wizard of Oz. That's also a really good one. But I mean, it's incredible to see them all. They're all amazing.
Well, now we got a task for the people of Greater West Bloomfield. They've got to top those costumes on October 19th in West Bloomfield on Orchard Lake Road at Premier Pet Supply. Christine, thank you so much for your time today, and we're looking forward to October 19th.
Yep, thank you.
Appreciate it. More information can be found on this and other events and fun happening at Premier Pet Supply in West Bloomfield. Visit their website, premierpetsupply.com/West-Bloomfield. That's premierpetsupply.com/West-Bloomfield, or stop in at the Orchard Mall to visit them and many other small businesses calling our hometown, Greater West Bloomfield, their home as well. That's our show. I want to remind you that television that's close to home is always online on CivicCenterTV.com and across our social media. Big thank you to our entire crew for making today's show possible, and of course to you for tuning in as well. For our entire team, I'm Tyler Kieft. Live, local, social, this has been The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.